Hey everyone. So yeah, I just finished reading for this week on research through Imperial eyes, and yeah, the concept that stood out to me the most was thinking about like time and space as like cultural constructs in a lot of ways. In some cultures they have different words or no words or different concepts of time and space. And I think about how, we talk about like how things are on Yukon time or on Indian time or different ways, because people have different relationships with, like punctuality, for instance. And it's kind of seen as this virtue in society to be like on time, have everything on time. Yeah, and I think about, like our breakdown in mainstream culture of time, like, you're expected to work 8 hours, you're expected to rest 8 hours, and then you are supposedly have like this other 8 hours of leisure time. Um, but that doesn't count your commute. That doesn't count your time like taking care of administrative tasks, like keeping on top of your insurance with your vehicles or your registration and taxes and all of these things that are supposedly supposed to be done in your leisure time. And I also think about like our children, like they spend 6 hours in school and then we have like 2 hours where they're not in school. They're expected to be supervised somehow, but then you have to, pay for childcare and have other people raise your children for that period of time as well, so that you lose that time, that valuable time with your kids to teach them and everything. We have these siloed spaces such as work and home, and the children are not supposed to be like coming to work with you all the time and everything, and that the spaces at work are not well set up for them. So on the days where you have a pro D day or your kid gets sick, then we're thrown into these like really awkward places within our like work commitments. And that often is a gendered thing, right? It usually falls on the mom to stay home with the kids or whatever else that's changing. I acknowledge it's changing slowly, but um, yeah. And then this time ends up getting eaten up all the time, and I've tried to work 40 hours a week and I just can't manage it with kids. Like it's just like for me 30 hours a week is a much more manageable work week, considering like if you're working 8 hours and you're home at 5 o'clock, it's like dinner, bedtime, bath, like it's just constant structured activities and you don't have any time to breathe. For me that was like really hard on my mental health when I've had to take on roles like that. So and that just leads to this place where like this time is so constrained, and the way that you spend your time, like if you spend it working 40 hours a week, you might be able to afford housing, you might be able to afford like a space to sleep and to eat, but a lot of people end up spending their like a lot of their time working or working two jobs and they still can't afford to have a space. So again, like this concept of like time and space and who's worthy of it, who's worthy of taking like vacation time, and who's worthy of like having housing, that's all related to like how they end up spending their time, is like so structured. And then we end up with all these mental health issues like anxiety and depression when people are struggling to meet these expectations. And I think that it's all connected. And I believe that if we were able to kind of decolonize the way that we see time and space or think about it in different ways, that we could probably address a lot of the societal issues that we're facing today. So thank you for listening.